do not know that it is revealed we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
The response shall be, the Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In verdant pastures he gives me repose. Besides restful waters he leads me. He refreshes my soul. He guides me in the right paths for his name's sake.
The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
Even though I walk in the dark valley, I fear no evil, for you are at my side with your rod and your staff that give me courage.
The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
You spread the table before me in the sight of my foes. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows.
The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
Only goodness and kindness follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for years to come.
The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
To me in my friend's class and started speaking Chinese to the confused professor. I had unfortunately missed it, but my friend could hardly keep his composure while Lee and the professor argued in different languages. None of us could stop laughing after class while we talked about it. But Lee could be serious and caring when she needed to be. I remember her calming me down on the phone during a panic attack and talking me through it for over a half an hour. I remember her helping me through the time I bumped into a car while trying to park. That was handled already. Just to clarify. I remember her preparing rice for us during a sleepover, unprompted. It was some of the best rice I've ever eaten. That is not an exaggeration. I stand here today thinking of what could have been. Lee graduated high school as a summa cum laude. That is the highest honor you can achieve in education. At Montclair, she was majoring in linguistics and created artwork on the side. She always wanted to return to the Philippines after graduating. I don't like living in New Jersey. It just isn't the same. And I replied, well, I've lived here my whole life, but I'll take your word for it. Something that brings me some sense of closure is knowing that, despite living a life that was tragically cut short, Lee will be able to return to her homeland. I don't believe that she could happily rest anywhere else other than in the Philippines. Thank you for everything, Lee. You were such a great friend to me. Though our friendship was short, you were such a great part of my life. I will never forget the days we spent together, the laughs we shared, or the moments we had. You always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In school at Beloved. I'll never forget how creatively funny they were, and they would always have me cracking up. One of my favorite memories with Lee is when she came over to my house and we hate-watched Twilight together. And it was really funny because she would make the creative jokes ever. And it really breaks my heart that she's gone, even though I never really had that much time with her sometimes. And I remember in our last period together, we would always play card games, and the teacher hated it. He would always get mad at us. She taught me one of the most craziest games, and she would always have the most creative cards. And she also had cards of dogs, which was really cute. And I'll always love Lee. She'll always be in my heart. And I love her, and I miss her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is kind of a spur of the moment thing. I don't really got nothing planned. Me and Lee were we were very close during quarantine. Right? We were both going through very similar family situations, very similar stuff in general. We were going through stuff that was very similar, and we would talk to each other, and we found solace in the fact that we were both there for each other, right? She was going through stuff, I was going through stuff. I told her about what I was going through, she told me what she was going through. And funnily enough, we talked about what would happen if one of us died, right? And that was one of our main topics, because at the time, me and her we were very engrossed in the topic about death. And she told me that if she were to pass on, and this was in 2020, but she told me that if she were to pass on, she wouldn't want me to be sad. She would want me to be happy, and that's what I'm gonna do, right? For her and for everyone else, I'm gonna be happy for the fact that she has moved on to a better place. And I'm not a Christian, right? I'm not religious at all. But stuff like this makes me want to believe that there is a higher power out there, maybe not pertaining to a specific religion, but there is a higher power out there, and that whatever that power is would look at someone like Lee and realize that she had a lot of potential, right? And if there is a heaven, right, she would go there, right? Like, she had a lot of potential. Out of all of us, especially in class 2, it's just saddening that it happened to someone like her. Because to be frank, not a lot of us had as much potential as Lee had. And the fact that someone like her with so much potential, it happened to her is disheartening. Because, and I'm sorry if this makes me a bad person, but it should have happened to literally anyone else. Right? Like, it should have, because she had a lot of potential. And someone like that, she doesn't deserve it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I liked frogs, so she filled them up all with frog stickers and bird stickers. And it was such a small gesture, but to me, it just really meant the world, because it showed me that somebody really was looking out for me. And she was really like a guardian angel for me when I was in the worst parts of my senior year. And one day she also surprised us after student council with her birthday cake. And it just really amazed me that somebody would travel all the way from college just to come talk to old friends and share in something as beautiful as a birthday cake to celebrate her. And we had been planning to meet up in December and to exchange gifts, but we never got to. And it really breaks my heart, but because she was just so full of life, and I had never met anybody that passionate about learning as she was. She would always talk to me about linguistics, and I remember that one time I was asking her what linguistics even was, because I was thinking about what I want to major for in college. And she just eagerly started typing away, sharing all that she knew. And one day she even offered to call me, and we called for a whole hour, and she answered all of my questions. And she was just so willing to share in what she knew, and I was absolutely so grateful for that. And she even told me that if I did end up majoring in linguistics, she would pass on her notes, kind of like a knighting ceremony. Instead of tapping a sword on her shoulder, she would give me her notes. And it was just something that meant so much to me. And I just know that wherever she is, she's resting now. And I hope that she knows how much she was loved, and that she feels all this love, and so that it dissolves any pain that she might have felt, so that now it's like a blanket that will comfort her forever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through like the first few days of high school, getting to know her, and throughout like my whole time at high school, it's honestly an amazing person to have met. How everybody has said, how creative, how funny, and how like much potential she had for the future. Being her friend and going through high school in general was just amazing, especially showing her skills in designing things for projects, or whether it be using beautiful stationery. She always showed a lot of things in so many colors and in very beautiful ways. And as well as her our time in like student council, it was I won't say a great time showing her leadership and throughout the whole like time in high school, trying to build it up slowly and surely. I mean, having an amazing person by my side, knowing that I can trust, knowing I have somebody I can trust, going through all of that, and also it's just the bunch of memes, cat memes, whatever you name it. Also, just the love for like rhythm games and music. Seeing her in lunch class, during lunch and other times and like break, seeing her playing like a bunch of games. Like she's just overall an amazing person. Honestly, I really had wanted to connect back with her and hang out some other time, or even invited to my birthday at some point like later this year. But unfortunately, as many of us who have planned or intended to be with her at some point, and fortunately we don't have that luxury. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hello. I did not get to know Lee for that long. I only met her last semester, which was around like November. We started working on a research job at the university through linguistics, and I actually met her through linguistics. And honestly, if it were not for Lee, we would not have a Montclair Linguistics Club that we have today, because she was a huge part of the e-board and just creating so many different ideas. And she is someone that I've never met someone like as passionate as I am about linguistics as she was. Like, we were on the same wavelength with linguistics, and she was also just so creative. And I heard someone else say that she had so much potential, and I could not agree more. And even outside of linguistics, she was just such a like interesting person. Like, the moment that I met her, like, I didn't know, but like sometimes you just meet those people that like you feel like they're familiar, and that's just how she felt to me. Like, not even saying any words, it was just like her presence. I was just like, wow, she's just. And then when I met her, it was just so much emotion, like all at once, just like. And I just wish there was more time for that, and unfortunately it had to be cut so short. And I especially feel her passing because my mother also passed away, and so I really feel this grief, despite the fact that I did not get to know her for enough as much time as I would like to have known her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That are difference, R and Y, and that caused a lot of trouble to our teachers in middle school, because they would always confuse us, and I think it also confused a lot of the administration in high school also. And we were also born in October. It was only a 10-day difference. She was born on October 9th, and I was born October 19th. Our maternal grandmother, our Lola Chit, she was born October 8th. So the month of October was always a time of celebration for our family. And we would always rip our brother Hansun, just that he wasn't born in the month of October. He was born in the month of May. And we would always play games together. My most favorite memories would be when we would play Minecraft together always. I think we were like one of the first few adopters of Minecraft when we would play on the Pocket Edition, the mobile. And we would always love playing Minecraft, just always ribbing at each other, and we'd always joke. If she hadn't gone to linguistics, I would have also gone to linguistics. She always had a love for languages. She knew at least 6 languages. And I think it was probably a unique situation where we are part of a ethno-linguistic group in the Philippines known as the Waray people, and our native tongue is also known as Waray. We talked always in the late night in the kitchen about future, just anything. And she told me, and I also told her, that if we go back to the Philippines whenever in the future, that I would get her some Waray poetry, because that was also one of her interests, to just get to know our history and to know our language better, our native tongue. She was so much smarter than me. She had a bright future, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be there for you.